So I call this the concept of the two mountains. First mountain is Har Sinai, Horeb, where God descends and God is giving the Torah to the children of Israel. Now, in that Torah has no conditions. It has no preconditions. It is just giving the Torah. The word Torah comes from the word Torah, which means instructions. That's not law.
Okay.
Torah comes from the word Torah, which means instructions. God was giving instructions to the children of Israel. Now, if you look very carefully in chapter 19 and 20 of Exodus, Shmo, it does not use the word mitzvah. It would have said that Adonai el Moshe le'amor ha mitzvot, if he was giving instructions. But he does not use the word mitzvah. He uses the word davar. And these are the words God spoke to Moshe al Har Sinai, on the Mount Sinai.
Okay.
So there's a difference between commandments and words. Commandments means I rule that this is what needs to be done. But words is just speaking. It's
Okay.
conversation. Why is this? It's because God was not commanding them for anything at Mount Sinai. He was speaking as a husband speaks to his prospective bride.
Okay.
That I am your husband. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. I don't like idolatry. I don't like lustful behavior. Do not steal from one another. If you obey all of these things, then I can be your husband.
Right.
God is opening his heart out to what he wants. You know, before you got married, you and your wife sat down and spoke, right?
Right.
Maybe one session, two sessions, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. But you all spoke and sorted things out before you all said, yes. This is exactly what's happening. And the Jews know this. That is why the Jews don't call this commandments. It's the church that calls this commandments and has made a problem with this.
Okay.
Okay. Now, every one of those 10 that are given over there, you can match the midrash of it with what Yeshua is saying on the second mount. So look very carefully. You write the 10 down at the side of you, and you read chapters 5, 6, and 7 of Matthew, and you can relate everything back to those 10 themes that God instructed Moses what Israel should do to be his wife.
Okay.
Why? Because when that was happening on Mount Sinai, these guys were building the golden calf, and that full plan failed.
Right.
So God said, I'm not going to go ahead with this. Then Moses goes on top and he cries, says, God, you can't do this. Moses stands in the gap. Then God says, okay, Moses, you're taking up for them. Fine. You continue giving it to them, but I am not going to do it now. But since you have told me and forced my hand to continue with this plan, go ahead with it. But I am going to put a certain amount of riders and penalties to this now.
Okay.
And those were the curses that were added to the Torah.
Okay.
So the first time, God was only saying, do this. Because he took it that this is my wife, this is my bride. Then they messed up. He said, you really want to keep it? Okay, do it. But I'm going to put some riders and some penalties to it. the curses were added, and those blessings and curses are pronounced in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 26, when they enter into the land. That if you
Yeah,
do
he
this, you'll be
repeated those.
blessed. If you don't do this,
Yeah.
the curses. So those curses operated from Har Sinai till the cross of Jesus. Because the book of Galatians say that he has removed the curses of the Torah. So that penalty which was put because of that was removed finally with the cross. But what remains? The Torah and the blessings remain.
Yeah.
The curses have been removed by way of the cross. So what you need to do expressly right now, look at your dissertation, what you've written, and compare each one and tick off and headline it. Okay, this is number 3 which was spoken on Sinai. This is number 4 that's spoken on Sinai. This is number 6 that's spoken on Sinai. Because everything that failed on Sinai, Yeshua had to redo on this mount. In simpler language, face to face,
Right.
with power, with miracles, with authority, so people would grasp it better.
Wow.
See
Amazing.
how you've completely missed this.
Yeah.
And you take this and go for your teachers' conference, you're going to blow the minds out of all of people out there. I'm telling you this. Because they will have no answer for you against you. And you study this tonight and you see how powerful it is. So
Right.
the word beatitudes is wrong. Sermon on the Mount, okay, you can say Sermon on the Mount is actually a wrong concept. It is the question of the two mountains. And you can
Right.
quote me if
Got
you
it.
want. You can quote me out there if you want. If you feel like it. If someone starts taking a case, tell him this is the theology of it. But this is the only
Right.
truth. Sachin, it's the only truth. You see, you look at all of you look at them, it talks about lust, right?
Yeah.
It talks about stealing, whatever. It's all embedded in Mount Sinai. That was God who was speaking it. They were afraid. They were afraid for their life. They told Moses, don't let us speak. We will die. We don't want to. You write it down, give it to us. We will study it. But here, it is the same God. Now, sitting face to face with people who they can connect with, speaking in a more simpler language, showing them. You understand the difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what's happening, nothing else.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah.
I'll just leave you with this framework. You need to work
Yeah.
on this framework.
Absolutely. Yeah. But Galatians, which
Open
chapter
that
you can
word,
remember?
that thing, Galatians.
Which chapter?
Wait. Galatians 3:13.
Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is everyone who is hung on a tree.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
He, from the curse that was put because of our Sinai.
Right.
So, to some extent, even the full sacrificial system that they were doing, goats and bulls and things, was actually the result of that sin. Because at Mount Sinai, God did not speak about any sacrifice.
Right. Right.
He only spoke about divine service. Right? When they were thick-headed and they didn't understand what korban is, what is self-sacrifice is, God said, okay, you don't understand, take a goat, slaughter it, push the blood, pour the blood, sprinkle the blood. That goat will be like in place of you. Ah, now I understand it.
Right. Amazing. Super. Yeah, I'll go through that. 18:9.
Yeah, I think you
Okay.
need to, if you want to, I am not telling you to do, but if you desire to, study this and modify your dissertation. It's powerful enough what I've told you.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you've written is very contemporary. It's contemporary. But what I've given you is mind blowing stuff.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Galatians caps it because Galatians finalizes. He says Christ has removed us from the curses of the Torah. When were
Curses.
those curses put? Those curses were put as a penalty
Mount Sinai.
because of the sin of the golden calf.
Right.
The blessings and the curses. Deuteronomy chapter 26.
Wow.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
I
Good.
mean, that's why we are here for. I mean, to just be in awe from his words.
But you know how many times we've read this, but we've never got it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because we're not able to connect. We don't have the training to read the Bible correctly. No?
Correct. I mean, we understand, but we are not able to connect the dots. How you are
Hmm.
able to connect the dots? Why? I mean, I can obviously talk about Sermon on the Mount, but the way you connected it, that's
It has to connect to the Old Testament. It
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
has to connect. Yeah. Anything
Wow,
else?
amazing. No, no, that's all.
I don't think he's, I think you now you're confident of what you're going to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good, good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, check back.
Bye. So you will share that recording if you have.
Yeah, yes.